because I can remember watching the theatrical trailer to this movie before it came out, and I'm watching this trailer and I'm looking at it and I'm going, where are the monkeys? That's what this movie's about. And now that I've seen the movie, I know exactly what's going on here. I want you to look at this scene from the movie as the lead scientist, he was in Spider-Man, by the way. The lead scientist is explaining how they're going to make mankind better with this new formula. Look at the company that he works for. The company that he works for is Genesis, with the little DNA as the eye. Do you see that? Do you see the imagery that's being portrayed here? This is a new dawn of a new breed, of a new beginning of the godhood of mankind. And even though it deals with the evolution of a monkey, of an ape, in this case, little Caesar, that's funny, the little gorilla or the little chimpanzee Caesar, who is birthed from this augmented mother, and now he has this special, unique DNA. Now his eyes look human. Now he thinks the way humans do, and he's conscious and aware of his own self-being. And then he is smart enough, and he leads all of the other. He finds the formula and infects all these other gorillas and monkeys in this laboratory, and now they have the enlightenment. Now they're self-aware, and he's their leader. Now they have all been transformed into this higher state. Because remember, evolution says that that's who we used to be. We used to be that, and we were transformed and evolved into this. And they're telling you that these, even though you see it through these gorillas and monkeys, that's where we're headed. In the theatrical trailer, this is how they promoted the movie. And what I did was I did a screen capture, 3 different points in the theatrical trailer to this movie. Notice what it says. Evolution becomes revolution. You see, because here's what happened. Those that had been enlightened now take over the planet. That's why it's called Planet of the Apes. These are the monkeys that have been evolved. And that's what Blavatsky believed in. Blavatsky believed, in contrast to what Darwin was saying. Darwin was saying that it takes millions of years for even one little change to happen. Blavatsky said, Darwin, you're an idiot. Actually, what it takes is an outside intervention of some kind to transform us. And this is what Blavatsky, this is what probably Nietzsche believed in, this is what Crowley believed in, was that an outside source was going to breed this new Superman race inside of humanity. And there would be these mutants rising up that had the altered DNA, and they would be hated, and they would be feared, and they would be, you know what I'm talking about, the X-Men. X-Men evolution. And the X-Men, basically the X-Men comic series, and I'm going to show you what this X is in a little bit. Get ready. Some of you already know this. The X-Men comic book series is about these people. They're mutants. They have mutated genes in them. And I'm going to show you the movies that have come out that are teaching and indoctrinating mankind into accepting the fact that this mutation is going to make us better. It's going to make us into gods. What I did was I have seen several of these X-Men movies, and I learned something from them. First of all, I'm going to show you why they're called X-Men. Now, in the movies and in the comic books, Stan Lee wanted you to believe that they were named after Charles Xavier. They were the X-Men. They were the G-Men. Now they're the X-Men. I think it has something more to do with what the X symbolizes. Let me show you this graphic here. This is the letter X. Do you know what this is? This is your X chromosome. Everybody has them. Male and female has X chromosomes. The difference between male and female is that males actually have what's called a Y chromosome. And that's because every time we get around women, we go, why? Why? Anyway, that's men. But we all have this X chromosome in us. That's where God stores all of our crooked serpent-like DNA inside of these things that look like crosses inside of every cell in our body. There's 23 pairs of them, 46 in total, and they all look like little crosses, little X's. So really, we're the X-Men They're awaiting our mutation. The most recent series, or part of this series of the X-Men, just came out. It was called the Wolverine. You see, he's the guy. Wolverine is the guy who, if you find out from X-Men Origins, Wolverine, you find out that this Wolverine, even though he was born at a certain date, he's like immortal. They can't kill him. He keeps living forever. He is already a god. And so the new X-Men movie, The Wolverine, happens to come out, just happens to come out on July 26, 2013. Now the date is 7/26/13. Let's add that together. 7 and 26 is 33. Remember the Superman movie. Comes out on a date that makes 33. 7 and 26 is 33 plus 13. 46. There is I haven't seen this movie yet. I plan on it. A teaching that is designed to draw men's minds to this concept of us becoming gods. The letter X, or the cross symbol, is sort of, it's seen in the occult world. It's an occult symbol. Let me show you a graphic out of Albert Pike's Morals and Dogma. And he shows you all of these different crosses in here. You have the Tau cross. You have the what's called the Chi-Rho symbol with what looks like a letter P coming out of an X. And I want you to think about this. Here is a chromosome, and there's something coming out of that chromosome. There's something down in there, and there's something coming. That's what that Chi-Rho symbol represents. Notice that he's even got swastikas in there. What was Hitler trying to do? He was trying to come up with a new breed, a super race of supermen that would take over the world. I went to the Masonic House of the Temple Lodge in Washington, D.C. Now remember what the Bible says the temple is. The temple is a human body. And on the Masonic House of the Temple Lodge, on the outside you have a Greek temple with 33 columns on it, and you have a step pyramid on top with 13 rows. That's 46, by the way. And inside this temple, I went on the inside and I took pictures. Notice this graphic here. This is a shield with the letter X, the X chromosome, and something rising up out of this X. Let me show you this one. This is the wall decoration of the Masonic House of the Lodge temple, built, I think it was built in the early 1930s. They have swastikas all over the inside. Now this temple, this lodge place, some of the most powerful men in America who are Masons meet and gather inside of this lodge building. Yes, I believe in conspiracies. I sure do. Because of what I know and what I see and what I know this house of the Temple Lodge represents. Here is an ancient temple floor they dug up. I don't know where it is and how old it is. Notice the swastikas. Notice the DNA there on the side, the crooked serpents and the yin-yang symbol. That's all the fusion of opposites, male and female, sons of God, daughters of men. That's what that represents. That's what's coming out of the X chromosomes. Here is the the New World International Airport with a Masonic capstone on it, and it's built in the shape of a swastika. Here is, remember Isis and Osiris. Osiris the sun god. Remember Jor-El. He's like the sun god. Here is Isis and Osiris is always represented with this letter X, or this cross. Quetzalcoatl, the plumed serpent, the flying snake, the dragon of Aztec mythology. The Quetzalcoatl supposedly was a god that was killed on a cross. Now, before you start saying, see, I knew Christianity was fake, there is a real and there is a false. There is a thesis, Christ on the cross, dying for the sins of mankind, crucifying our flesh. You see, that's the thing right there. In order for us to be immortal, this mortal has to die. It has to be changed somehow. This, they're going to turn the flesh into immortality. That's the difference. And so here even Quetzalcoatl is pictured as hanging on a cross or being crucified somehow, some way. So we go back and look. I did watch. I went and just on a whim here. I had a theory. that there was something in the X-Men movies that was going to tell you how they came about. Well, sure enough, they made a movie called X-Men First Class. Here is a scene from this movie. This is on the left-hand side. The boy there, that's Magneto. You know Magneto. He's Magneto and Gandalf. Same guy played them both. Here's young Magneto, and he is in front of this. Hold on. He's in front of this guy that's a Nazi, that's looking for the superior race, okay, with the swastika symbol. Think about it. So here is young Magneto, Eric, standing in front of it, and the guy's saying, genes are the key that unlocks the door to a new age. Eric, stop right here. Stop right here. What is he talking about? A door, and a locked door, and it needs a key. What could he be talking about? Revelation chapter 9. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the key, and to him unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit. Guess who came out? Locusts. And guess who else came out? Abaddon the destroyer, the king of the bottomless pit. So go back and look at this scene again. Genes, in other words, the X chromosome, are the key that unlocks the door to a new age. The next scene, a new future for mankind. And then he says, evolution. This is about the whole Comic Con is about conning mankind into going ahead, moving forward into man's next phase of evolution. Not a phase that's going to take place over thousands or millions of years, but a phase, as Blavatsky and Crowley wrote, Nietzsche, a phase that's going to take place as a result of an outside force turning us into gods. What that looks like in the Bible is in Daniel chapter 2, the fourth kingdom actually mingles themselves with the DNA of men, the seed of men. That's what the Bible says. Thus bringing mankind under their dominion, but promising mankind his next stage of evolution, Godhead. This is the mystery that has been held by all of these groups, the Mormon Church, the New Age movement, Freemasonry. Freemasonry is mainly based upon the secret of the Knights Templar plus Rosicrucian doctrine plus Jewish Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism. I'm going to show you something from there in a little bit. Rosicrucian idea, the rose cross. Let me show you the symbol of the rose cross. It is the blood red rose with thorns coming up out of a cross. Stop right here. Look at this. Go back to this graphic of Quetzalcoatl. You have Quetzalcoatl on a cross. You have the rose and the thorns on the cross. It's the same idea and the same concept. Notice this graphic again. You have a serpent biting his tail. That, in the Illuminati and the occult and the New Age movement, is a picture of what they call immortality or man's resurrection. And let me show you what it means. According to Albert Pike and all these other writers, the mouth on the serpent it's kind of birds and bees stuff. The mouth is the female and the tail is the male. That's what that is. I mean, that's what you're looking at here. It's very, very vulgar. But remember, that whole thing of the man and the female has to do with the birthing of Horus, the age of Horus, the coming of the age of the Antichrist, where Lucifer's promise to Eve is going to be fulfilled. You shall not surely die, but you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. Here is from a Rosicrucian website, speaking of the character of Christian Rosenkreutz. His very name is an embodiment of the manner and the means by which the present-day man is transformed into, here it is, the divine Superman. This symbol, the Christian Rosenkreuz, or the Christian Rose Cross, shows